Hey guys, welcome to Pieters Home Projects. I'm Peter and this is part 2 on the build of my Hypercube. Okay, I'm pretty excited now because all the components that I need to finish the mechanical part of the printer arrived today. Let me show you. So I got two 12mm rods for the Z-axis, two 10mm rods for the Y-axis, two 8mm rods for the X-axis. And I also have two threaded rods, also for the Z-axis. My bearings arrived, so I ordered the long versions, as I told in my previous video. And I'm pretty happy with these. If you check this out, they're pretty smooth. And I even tried to wiggle them, but they're pretty, it's a tight fit, but not too much drag. So pretty happy about this one. Just as comparison, this is my 10mm bearing, my 8mm bearing, and these were the old ones that I was using. If you see, this is twice the length of this one. The same goes for the 8mm one. If I want to reach the same height, I have to use two of these, and if you misalign them a little bit, they will create drag, and I'm pretty convinced that this will be a better option. Well, that's one reason why I'm so excited today. Secondly, I received my filament. I got this green one and this yellow one, so these will decide the color scheme that I'm aiming for. So next to do is start printing all the parts. Let's get to it. While this little fella is making all the parts that I need, I'm going to tackle the first problem that I really hate about building something like this. Well, the only thing that I really hate about a project like this is that you have to be 100% sure that everything is perfectly square. Corners have to be 90 degrees, the lengths have to be the same, and across the distance has to be perfect, the same. So the only way to check this is to use the good old-fashioned meter. Let's get to it. All done. This one is perfectly square, so let's move on to the Y-axis. So here in front of me I've got all the parts ready to assemble the Y-axis. I've got my two 10mm rods and the bearings, two Nema17 Stepper-motors with bolts to lock them in place. I've got my motor mounts combined with the mount for the 10mm rod, a bolt and a screw to secure the rod into the mount, and then I got my XI joiner with a 10mm opening to secure the rod once again. And then I have my GT2 16T bearing. I found this on Banggood and I'm pretty happy with the quality. I'll provide a link in the description. And then I have a bolt to secure these into the plastic part. And I also got a bunch of T nuts and 5mm M5 bolts to mount everything on the frame. I'm gonna start with the motor mount. I found this one on thingiverse. It's a nice remixed part. The only thing that I had to do was adjust the hole for the 10mm rod. It's pretty straightforward. Motor goes in here, 3 screws to attach them. 10mm rod goes in here and is tightened down with a 3mm bolt. So first place the bolt into the part. It should be push fit, like you can see. Take the bolt, push it gently through, and then tighten it down. Not too hard, not too far, so you can still open up a little so you can place the metal rod. Next, taking the motor, and also tighten these down. All done. The assembly of this XI joiner is pretty easy. Just have to put the two GT2 bearings into the slots and secure them down with a bolt. The only problem that I got is that the bolt isn't quite long enough, so I'm going to secure it into the plastic, but before I do that I will drill these holes a little bit bigger with 3mm, so it just slides in easy, and then I will tighten everything down. Now let's mount this thing on the frame. Before I can actually mount anything on this frame, I had to make sure that my axis has the right length, because as you can see, due to the adjustments that I made to the frame, it doesn't fit anymore. So first thing I did was adding some failed parts or test parts that I made, just to make sure that I don't forget to calculate this length when I cut the rod. So mount it on the frame. It should be like this, approximately. So, and as you can see, I've got about 1.5 centimeter of length that I have to cut off. To cut these to the right length, I took my calipers to measure the exact distance. Next, I placed a piece of painter's tape around it, and with the help of my calipers again, I marked down where I had to cut. Since these are steel rods, I had to use a powerful tool, but I didn't want to put too much stress on them. So I used my hobby tool that I had laying around to shorten them. So, now I've cut this one to length, I can finally assemble the first part that I will be mounting on my Hypercube. First, put the bearing on, otherwise I have to disassemble it later again. Push one side gently into the motor mount. Be very careful with that, because first time I have put too much pressure on it and I just broke the part in two, so I don't want that again. Next, push this one gently over the axis. All done. Let's put it into the Hypercube. The first part is finally mounted on my Hypercube. Next thing for me to do is do the exact same thing on the opposite side. After that I will continue with the X-axis and the assembly of the Z-axis. But now I'm waiting for my 3D printer to spit out all the parts for the assembly, So this is it for this video. If you guys have any questions, suggestions or comments, put it in the comment section below and I'll get back to you. If you want to see where this project is moving to, click on the subscribe button so you get notification on my next video. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video.